Alright, how's it going, everybody? My name is Troy Harrison Chriest, you can just call me THC, and today we're talking about the recent rumors for a Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster. Somebody on Reddit is claiming that they are a Q&A tester for EA, and pretty much they gave out a bunch of details on the updates and the upgrades for the Mass Effect Trilogy. Leave a like, subscribe, I'm going to read it all off and throw some gameplay in the background. If you like Mass Effect, let me know in the comments and consider checking out my Patreon for $1 a month. Alright, here we go. Hopefully this brings some good news to everyone. I work for EA as a Q&A tester. You should expect an announcement sometime after EA Play this year, because EA wants to show off some brand new games at EA Play. We kind of watched that already. They didn't show off much. They just announced Skate 4. Expect a Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster announcement and release date during N7 Day of this year. This guy thinks they're going to announce it the same day that they're going to release it. That seems a little crazy, but it might work out. It's a remaster. It's already got a fan base. It doesn't need a massive marketing, scheme. He says, I will break it down game by game. All 3 games have been ported into the Frostbite engine. He doesn't say if it's Frostbite 3 or Frostbite 4, possibly. Bioware has had a third team primarily working on this game with assistance from multiple EA game studios, i.e., Criterion, EA Gothenburg, which was formerly Ghost Games, Motive, as well as DICE, apparently. So hopefully DICE is actually helping them get these working in Frostbite, because we all know Frostbite is a nice engine, but it's hard to work in. He goes on to say that I am unsure of the official capacity in help from the previous studios, but I know all of them are helping in some shape. This remaster has been in the works since early 2017. Bioware didn't start full production until after Anthem launched. Parts of the Mass Effect Andromeda team, led by Mac Walters, are spearheading this remaster, with Casey Hudson also heavily involved. However, Casey Hudson is busy working with Anthem as well as Dragon Age 4. So apparently this will come out before Dragon Age 4, so that's cool. Alright, now let's talk about the first Mass Effect. It says that there are major graphical and gameplay changes. Gameplay is more in line with Andromeda's fluidity, but instead of with the original weapon and armor systems from that game, but a lot more streamlined like Mass Effect 3. However, this game has the least robust gameplay of the 3 in the remaster, which is what we could expect because Mass Effect 1 was significantly different from Mass Effect 2. Way different. The change in gameplay has also altered some of the level design and boss battles. Benezia, who is one of the characters in the game, will no longer be in the room with the Rachni Queen. It is instead a much more open environment, and both of these Saren battles have had the environments expanded to offer better options for gameplay. Because if you guys never played Mass Effect 1, it was very, very straightforward. Go down this hallway. We're guiding you right down the line. This is going to be a lot more open. That's cool. Also, the planet exploration for Mass Effect 1 has been changed to be more in line with Mass Effect 3's planet scanning, which I wasn't the biggest fan of. Mass Effect 2 had the best planet scanning, easily. However, there are still planets to land on, but do not expect, like, Andromeda-sized open worlds. I would say every planet combined is equal to about the size of Eos in size and areas to explore. This game is still a very, very linear experience. Number 4, the galaxy map and galaxy exploration is Mass Effect 3. It's basically just like Mass Effect 3 for Mass Effect 1. Number 5, if I had to make a comparison, the game graphically looks similar to Dragon Age 1. It's not a next-gen title, but Mass Effect remade in the current-gen Frostbite engine. Okay, so it's a remake. It's not just like a port, it's a remake. He says character models look good, but look even better in Mass Effect 2 and 3 versions of the remaster. Cool. Also, some cut quests from the original game have been added to the remaster, maybe about 2 to 3 hours more of gameplay. Also, the villain Saren has a much more fleshed out backstory, which we will be able to see during some cutscenes. Super duper cool, because he was kind of a villain right off the bat of the game, and we didn't know much about him, or his motivation, pretty much. Also, they added Shepard's cabin to Mass Effect 1, where you can go into Shepard's room, probably listen to music, get collectibles, change your armor, change your guns, that sort of stuff. If you guys remember, we didn't spend as much time on the ship in Mass Effect 1 as we did in 2, 3, and Andromeda, so they added the cabin. That's basically it. That's all it is. So the sacrifice mission or scene has new cutscenes. If you guys don't know what this is, it's when you have to pick Ashley or Kaidan Alenko, pretty much. The new cutscenes are added to show the fates of the squad member from their perspective. And you are also able to start romances earlier, and if you are romancing the one who was not left behind, there is an added moment with that particular love interest, and he was told this is one of the few moments where Shepard is vulnerable. The Shepard isn't super, like, you know, he's not a very emotional dude, especially not in Mass Effect 1. Okay, also, the Bring Down the Sky and Pinnacle Station DLCs are included in the remaster as the base game and are not additional DLC. That's cool. And the last thing we know about the remaster of Mass Effect 1 is that hub areas are much more lively. On the Citadel, there is more NPC interactions than before, ambient conversations going on, and the club/CSEC and certain areas of the Presidium are also completely redesigned to give it a fresh look and feel. A redesigned Presidium. I like the Presidium from Mass Effect 1, so we'll see what that actually looks like. Alright, now for probably my favorite game of all time, Mass Effect 2. The first thing it says about this is obviously there are major graphical and gameplay changes, just like Mass Effect 1. Once again, the gameplay is more in line with Andromeda's fluidity, but instead it has the robust weapon and armor systems from Mass Effect 2. But it's streamlined to be all sleek and pretty, like Mass Effect 3. They kind of say this a lot. Number 2, character models are noticeably improved from the Mass Effect 1 remaster. Graphically, it still says it's on par with Dragon Age. I don't understand why it keeps referring it to Dragon Age 1. And number 3, planet scanning is back, but improved and more in line with Mass Effect 3 than the original Mass Effect 2 game. That's bullcrap because scanning in Mass Effect 3 sucks, and it was perfect in Mass Effect 2. Don't change it. I don't want you to. They have also added more to the hub worlds instead of giving planets to explore, because you didn't really do that much in Mass Effect 2. They're just adding more to the actual hub worlds. The Presidium and the wards from Mass Effect 1 have been added to Mass Effect 2 with obvious environmental changes from the aftermath of ME1. Does that make sense? Stuff happened at the end of Mass Effect 1. It changed the Citadel and the Presidium, and yeah, it will be shown in Mass Effect 2 where it wasn't originally. Also, parts of Omega that were cut from the base game have been added to the remaster. Yes, Omega is my favorite planet ever. Super hyped, they're adding more stuff. It's really great. Also, all of the DLC from the game will be added into this remaster. Stuff like Kasumi and the Shadow Broker, that'll be in the game. Also, some cut quests and content will be re-added. Also, he has been told that they have made the game more adult, as in certain romance scenes like, you know, Miranda in the engine room and environments are no longer strategically non-nude. You know what I mean? If you played Mass Effect Andromeda, there was definitely nudity in that. They didn't really do that in the original games. It also says if you romance Kaidan or Ashley from the first game, there is extra content with those characters later in the epilogue of the game. Super duper dope. Last thing about Mass Effect 2, after you complete Arrival, which only activates after you beat the main quests, they have added extra content of Shepard turning himself or herself into the Alliance. Basically, in Mass Effect 2, you work for Cerberus, then at the end he goes, I don't like Cerberus anymore, and then Mass Effect 3 starts and you're just a prisoner of the Alliance. So they're going to give us some backstory on Shepard actually turning himself in. And also during this epilogue is where you can interact with Kaidan and Ashley briefly, where you could not before. All good? All caught up? Nice. Alright, on to Mass Effect 3. Like the previous two games, this one also includes major graphical and gameplay changes. How many times have I said this? Gameplay is more in line with Andromeda's fluidity, but keeps the core Mass Effect 3 inventory system. Cool, cool, cool. Also, you get to play an extremely brief prologue as Admiral Anderson prior to the Reaper invasion of Earth. You know how the game starts off, the little boy and Shepard showing up to go save the day on Earth? Admiral Anderson was already down there, and we actually had to see, like, what's happening. And which is dope because that was kind of a complaint a lot of people had about the original beginning. Also, 3. It looks very similar to the Mass Effect 2 remaster quality. Character models might have some incremental improvements, but unless you view them side by side, it's kind of hard to tell, if that makes sense. Number 4, planet and war asset systems return. Remember the war assets where, like, you would build up points so the ending battle would go over better? Basically what it says about that is it is returning, but it is also easier to manage, and you can unlock asset quests once you reach a certain point in the game. Is that cool? Does it make sense? All right. 5. Like the previous 2 games, they added more to the hubs. More people, more ambient conversations, more stuff to do. Number 6. All of the DLC from the base game has been added to the remaster and are considered main quests, so you can't miss them. Some cut content has also been included, about 5 hours worth of new content for us to play. Also, something else that is new, if you play as FemShep, you can also sleep with Arya T. Loke after the Omega mission, as long as you are not currently in a relationship with Miranda, which I will be. So, yeah. Oh well. Apparently, Arya doesn't really like that if you're dating somebody else, and she won't sleep with you. That's pretty cool, because Arya always seemed like a character that, like, was so interesting, but then, like, you don't see much of her afterwards. You know what I mean? Also, like the Mass Effect 2 remaster, they have made the game more adult, which means boobs. Pretty much it means boobs and nudity. Alright. 7. They have added a bit more to the ending of the game. Any romance interest that you have had, assuming they're still alive, will be able to have a physical in-person goodbye with Shepard before the final mission. Alright. And last, the ending has not been changed in any capacity. However, some of the cut content is more towards the end of the game, so the events right before it will be a little bit different. Alright, that's basically it. It is rumored to come out on N7 Day of 2020, apparently. Let's see if they actually do it. Hopefully they do. That was it. Sorry, my voice has been kind of dead this video. I got a little weird cough. Oh well, leave a like, subscribe, and check out my Patreon for $1 a month. Let's get some more Patreons, please. Alright, thank you for watching. Peace. I'm out of here.